So how these configurations is going on. So these kind of details we are going to discuss by using the core module. Okay. Yesterday also we discussed about what, sorry, on Saturday, we are discussed about core module only. So today I'm going to share the course content as well. Don't worry. Okay. 1 minute. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm getting unnecessary calls. So that's what. Okay. All right. Core module. Yeah. Let me recap. Is there any new person came today? Anyone new? 2, 3. Okay. Right. Core, what type of module here? See, let me recap the whole session of the Spring. Spring completely the best solution for to developing the all kind of applications. Agree? For core Java, only for the standalone application. For advanced Java, able to develop in the web application. For COM, DCOM, Corba, RMI, these are all able to develop in the distributed applications. EaseAB, enterprise Java means it is useful to develop in the enterprise applications. Okay. So that means if you want to develop the any type of application prior to Spring, I'm talking about prior to Spring, if you want to develop any kind of application, the respective technology you should utilize. Otherwise, you are unable to develop the such a type of applications. Yes or no? But in the Spring, we are able to develop all type of applications like a standalone, web, distributed, and the enterprise applications. Agree, right? So here, the Spring completely module based. If you want to develop the standalone application, you have to use what? Core module. Standalone application. What do you mean by standalone application? Anyone, can you tell me? Standalone application. One person. Anyone, standalone application. Online, anyone can share what do you mean by standalone application? You are also see that, right? Monolithic. Oh, big words coming. Right. What is the standalone application, guys? You have to understand, yeah. Please be open. No, not required. Just free. Okay. Concept. I will give on the fingertips only. Okay, nothing to worry. Standalone application is nothing but what? Stand plus alone. If you are split that word, stand plus alone, that is standalone. Means it is the desktop application. Client itself is server. No need to internet. No need to use what? Internet. If you are developing the application by using this machine or this laptop, this application is available within this laptop. It means it cannot be shareable across the network. Stand alone. Getting my point? Stand plus alone, but single word. For the sake of to understanding, I split that word. Stand plus alone. Stand alone. Okay. మంత్రి వాడే రాజు వాడే నేనే రాజు నేనే మంత్రి అంటారు కదా దట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ క్లియరా ఓకే desktop, that is what either desktop application also you can call it like that. Next one, web application. I hope all are in the middle of advanced Java. Maybe the few of people may be entering into the advanced Java. Maybe some people completed advanced Java as well. Clear? Okay. Coming to the web application. What is mean by web application? What do you mean by distributed application? Is it same both distributed and web application? Online? Can you consider both distributed and web applications same? Okay. Is it audible? Whoever not able to listen my voice. Okay. Okay. Right. What is the difference between web application and distributed application? Is both are same? Same. If the same, why you are categorization like that? Yes or no? Right. See, web application means, listen. Don't use the mobiles, guys. Don't chat anyone. Okay? Right? You can't do multitasking. Okay, na? Right. Multitasking means what? More than one task should execute simultaneously. Right? It won't be possible. Okay? We are not that much operating system in our mind. You don't have. Clear? Right. Web application means if you want to develop any application, as web application, that application should use what? Either web resources or web component. Web resources or web component. What do you mean by web resource or web component? Either servlet or JSP or XML. These are considered as what? Either web resource or what? Web component. Getting my point? I'm coming again. If you want to develop any application as a web application, that application should be developed with respect to the either web resource or web component. One and the same, like synonyms. Either web resources or web component, like what? Either servlet, either JSP, either XML. Getting my point? These are the web resources or web component. Next, number 2, at least one server. That server may be either web server or application server. Yes or no? Either web server or application server. Who is provide the better performance? Web server or application server? Application server only. Because might be in advanced Java, might be you will get the good clarity. What is the difference between web server and application server? Don't worry. Okay. The web server only recognizing the WAR file. WAR stands for what? Web archives or web archives. Terminology is the different. Spelling is the same. Web archive or web archive. The web server only recognizing the WAR file, but application server is recognizing not only for the WAR file, it can be able to recognizing what? JAR file. It is also recognizing is what? RAR. JAR stands for Java Archives. The first word is only different. Okay. WAR, W, right? That is web. JAR, J, that is Java. EAR, that is E stands for enterprise. The fourth one, RAR, that is rapid archives. These 4 types of files will be recognized by the application server. Getting my point? But the web server is recognizing only what? WAR file. Getting my point? Okay, coming to the picture. What do you mean by web application? Web application means what? If you want to develop any application as a web application, that application should be contains what? Either a web resource or web component. Next, at least one server, because the execution starting from where? In the server only, it will be taken care by server only, but not by the main method. Main method is never coming to the picture in the web applications. If you are added that main method, it won't be considered or it won't be act as main method. It should be act as what? An ordinary Java method, like public static void M1. Let's assume. Getting my point? Okay, na? So that main method is act as what? An ordinary Java method in web application. Getting my point? That's why if you want to execute the web application, the server is mandatory. What are the server? A server or maybe application server, whatever it is. Clear? Okay. So coming to the picture web application, if you want to develop the any application as a web application, that application should contains what? Either web resources or web component, number one. At least one server, okay, and some middleware services if you required. It is not a mandatory, but if you required, then you can add the middleware services. Sir, what are the middleware services? We already discussed in the past, right? Middleware service is nothing but what? It is the add-on service. Add-on service, what you already developed the application. Getting my point? You already developed the one application. For that application, if you are expecting it should be work perfectly or accurately, you should add what? Middleware services. What are these middleware services? Are authentication, authorization, am I right? Connection pooling, transaction. These are all comes under what? Middleware services. Getting? So if you want to develop the one web application, the basic thing is what? Either web resource or web component, at least one server. Clear? Middleware service is what? Based on the application scope. Normal application here, no need middleware service. Am I right? If it is, maybe if you developing the some real-time oriented application, you should add middleware services. Why? If you want to execute or if you want to run your application perfectly or accurately, then the middleware services are what? Mandatory. Simply are authentication. Right? If you are not authenticated that application, what is this purpose of this application? Yes or no? Useless application. After the authentication, what you required? Authorization based on the roles. Role-based security you are providing. Right? So it is optional. If you are developing the basic application, web resource or web component plus what? Some server. At least one server. Whatever the server. Clear? That application should be call it as what? Web application. I hope you got the clarity. Everyone, any doubt? Okay. Let me repeat in the definition point of view. Online. Are you able to follow that? Okay. Right. I repeat once again. Web application like what? If you want to developing the any application, as a web application that should be developed by using either web resources or web component or under at least one server. Okay. That is nothing but what? Web application. Okay, Ajay, we'll talk later. Okay, there is a big words coming. Right, right, guys. What do you mean by distributed application? Distributed application is nothing but what? Client and server based applications. Okay, you should use what? The distributed technologies like COM, DCOM, CORBA, RMI, remote method invocation. Okay, coming to the enterprise applications. Enterprise application means if any application may contains large scale business logic or complex business logic, such applications is calling as what? Enterprise application. For example, banking application. Am I right? Banking application, very big application, right? Am I right? Some Amazon related, Snapdeal. These are all big applications. So these applications you should call it as what? Tell me. Enterprise application. Right. So it is able to develop in the four types of applications we already discussed. One is standalone application, web application, distributed application, enterprise application. That means these four applications will be able to developed by the Spring only. That is the power of the Spring, right? So in the Spring, whatever the application you are planning to develop out of these four, the respective module you should use. Okay, na? For a standalone application, core module you should be recommended to use. Getting my point? For JDBC related application, JDBC, you know, right? So for JDBC related application, there is a module called DAO. That is, DAO stands for Data Access Object. Data Access Object. For Hibernate related applications, there is a module called what? ORM module. Am I right? ORM stands for what? Object Relational Mapping. Object Relational Mapping. Okay, right. For middleware services related, if you require, the middleware services are required, then you should go for the other module, that module name called what? AOP module. Aspect Oriented Programming. Aspect Oriented Programming. Suppose if you want to developing the servlet and JSP based web applications, there is a module called Web Module. Okay, that is available in Spring 1.x version only. Okay, from Spring 2.x onwards, it was merged with other module. I will tell. There is a MVC module also there according to Spring 1.x version. MVC module, that is Model View Controller. That is, if you want to developing the Struts based web application or JSF based web applications. Am I right? So you should use what? MVC module. From Spring 2.x version onwards, web and MVC module is combined as a single module. That module name called what? Web MVC module. Right? If you want to develop in the web application, whether it is servlet based or JSP based or Spring based or Struts based or whatever it is, then you should go for a what? Spring Web MVC module. Getting my point? If you want to develop in the enterprise based applications also, there is a module called what? Context module. Finally, conclusion, the Spring will support or will provide all kind of applications development in easy way. Getting my point? Clear? I hope everyone. Online? Okay. Coming to the concept oriented here. Don't ask other stuff. Online people. Okay? Right. We'll discuss personally AI, ML. We'll discuss later. Okay? Coming to the concept oriented, if you have any doubt, okay, just type in the chat box. I will provide the solution. Okay, guys. I hope so far everyone clear. So now there is a multiple modules are there in the Spring. Okay. Prior to Spring, there is a multiple technologies are there, right? Servlet, JSP, EJB, RMI, COM, DCOM, or whatever it is. Okay. For all of them, what is the base? Prior to Spring, that is before Spring. What is the base here? Core Java, right? Core Java or J2SE is the base module for rest of the two modules. That is either J2EE or J2ME. Whatever it is, the J2SE module is what? Base module. Clear? Like that, coming to the Spring, the same environment is applicable in the Spring also. There is a base module is there. Am I right? That base module is nothing but what? Come on. Base module is what here? Huh? Core module. Yeah. Come on. Core module is what? Base module. Base module. Okay? Right. By using the core module, what kind of applications you are able to develop? Don't be silent. After listening entire Ramayana, don't ask me who is the Sita. Okay, na? Right? Base core module purpose is what here? That's it. Okay. The core module is what? Base module for all modules of in the Spring. Right? Without Spring, without core module, there is no meaning for what? The rest of the modules. Even though Spring Boot also. Even microservices also. Without core module, there is no meaning. Clear? Without core Java, do you have any meaning for the advanced Java? Can you tell me? Is anyone there without core Java knowledge? Are you trying to learn advanced Java? Highly impossible. Okay, right. That's what the core module is. What? Base module for the rest of the modules. Next one, the core module is useful what? To developing the standalone, standalone applications only. Okay, right. In the core module, there is a inbuilt containers are there. Inbuilt container. What is the purpose of the container? What is the duty of the container? Creating the object, managing the object. Who will take care of it? Container only. Developer or programmer or software engineer, no need to bother about it. To creating the object, to destroying the object. Who will take care of it? The container will be taken care. Even though coming to your advanced Java level, there is a web container or servlet container is there as part of in the Tomcat server installation. I hope I already told there is a container name called Catalina. That Catalina is what? That is the name of the container. So the Catalina container will be taken care of what? To creating the object for the servlet. Am I right? Managing that servlet object, destroying that servlet object will be taken care by whom? Container. That too web container. Clear? So that web container, where it is available? Inside the web server. Inside the web server. Sir, EJB container also is there. EJB container, where it is available? Inside the, where? Application server. Clear? Even though web container also there, because it can be recognizing 4 types of files, right? Var, jar, EAR, RAR. Getting? All containers are available there. But as per the Spring, it is the best solution for what? All type of applications development. Yes or no? Excluding mobile-based application. Clear? Okay. Next one. So the container duty is what? Creating the object. Next, managing the object. Next, in coming classes, we will discuss in detail, don't worry. Destroying the object also, the container will be taken care. We are not bothered about it. Okay, right. Dependency injection. What do you mean by dependency injection? What is mean by dependency lookup? There is a 2 words are there. Dependency lookup is there. Dependency injection also there. So we will discuss, don't worry. Okay. Next one. The core module will be work based on what? Life cycle. It is working based on what? Spring Bean life cycle. Spring Bean life cycle. Okay, right. Okay. Destruction and destroying also one and the same. Don't worry. Because. Okay. Right, guys. The next one. Note. See, there is a Java Bean is there. There is a Spring Bean also there. Okay. Sir, there is a Java Bean. There is a Spring Bean. What is that? Java Bean and Spring Bean also there. So what is the difference between Java Bean and Spring Bean? Okay. So any concrete class, what is meant by concrete class here? Concrete class means what? Why I am asking these things, you already should be aware of it, because this discussion should be happened at a core Java level. Yes or no? Not in advanced Java, and core Java level, that word should be heard about it. Okay. What do you mean by concrete class? Anything? Where you are encountered this word, first of all? Yeah, exactly. At abstract class level, even interface level also. Both are nearby, na? So let me give some conclusion. Abstract class is what partial implementation. You know most of the guys. Do you have any doubt about the abstract class and interface? Anyone? Just raise your hand. I will give the clarity. If you don't have, I will give the small introduction. That's it. Anyone have any doubt? All are good, huh? Okay. Right. See, let me give that. See, initially, whenever the project coming to the development center like TCS, everyone having the dream like that, right? I want to become as a software engineer in TCS or Infosys or Wipro or HSBC or Bank of America, whatever you are, the big company names, right? See, initially they started after the everything design is completed, system design and architectural, everything is designed. Initially, whenever the coding start developing, initially they give the priority for what? Interfaces. Why? You don't know anything about it, but structurally you know, functionally you know, but in the API development level you might not be aware of it. Then you should go for what? Interface concept. Learning is different. The way of development is different. Learning point of view or learning from the concrete class, abstract class, interface, yes or no? While developing the project, in the real time, in reverse. That is first interface. When you are going for the interface, famous interview question. Listen. So maybe if anyone maybe making as a God experience. God experience means? You don't know, na? Fake, yeah. Fake experience. You need to explain the project architecture, right? Either functionally, either technically. Am I right? So, there, you should give the priority for what? Interface only. If you don't know anything about it, you should go for the interface. Just creating an interface with unimplemented methods. That's it. After few discussions with the client, you might be get some clarity. That is partially clarity, right? Then you should go for what? Abstract classes. Getting my point? Whenever you are getting the complete picture, then only you are coming to what? Concrete class. Getting my point? Learning is different. The way of implement is what different. Learning level, concrete class, abstract class, interface. But while developing the project level, interface, abstract class, concrete class. Getting my point? Okay. Coming to the, what is the difference between Java Bean and Spring Bean? Nothing is there. So any concrete class means what? Purely implemented class only. Purely implemented class only. Sir, can you use the anywhere concrete word or concrete modifier? First of all, do you have the concrete modifier? Oi, you don't know now. Do you have the concrete modifier? No, no. Did you heard about it? There is no concrete modifier. Just a terminology level, you are using what? Concrete word. Because in the earlier, one of the student asked me while discussing about the abstract class interface concept, sir, you are using concrete word, you are using abstract word, you are using the interface. For interface modifier is there, right? For abstract class, abstract modifier is there. For concrete class, where is the concrete modifier? You are missing. She asked me, come on. There is no concrete word, right? If whenever you are encountered the class fully implemented, that class should be called it as what? Online. Are you okay? Right. Okay, guys. Right. Coming to the, what is the difference between Java Bean and Spring Bean? First of all, the Bean actually private variables with the setters and getter methods. Yes or no? Bean class. So in the real-time project implementation level, the Bean class is more powerful here. You know, it is the mediator between the request and response. Getting my point? Whenever you are setting the data, that the setter methods are available in the Bean class only. Whenever you are getting the data from the either a database or either from the file or wherever it is, you are getting the data in the getter method. Getting my point? So that is the major role or key role in the project development. Coming to the Java Bean, the Java Bean is what? It is any concrete class. Java class can be taken as what? Spring Bean. Java Bean can be taken as what? Spring Bean. Right? In the Hibernate level, there is a Bean class is there. In the Spring level, there is a Bean class is there. There is no difference. Bean, if you heard about the Bean, private variables, setters and getters, default constructor, parameterized constructor. If you want to override equals method, something, you can do that. Getting my point? Okay. So, if you go any country, only 4 corners. East to west to north to south. If you cross Hyderabad to America, these corners never change, right? These positions never be changed. Like that, the Bean, wherever it is, either in the spring, either in the Hibernate, either in the studs, anywhere, the Bean like Bean only. Clear? Okay. Now, containers are there. One is Bean Factory container. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to develop the applications also. Okay, right. One is manual approach. Okay, another one is ID based. Okay, in front of you, we are going to developing the applications. Okay, if you want to bring your laptop, we can get it. Okay, after the complete the class, you can practice. Don't worry. Okay, tomorrow mostly we are going to developing the applications in 2 ways. One is manual approach, that is required jar files. Those jar files placing in the class path environment variable, then you can start our application. Another approach is what? By using the IDE, Eclipse. Okay, any idea? Okay, so initially we are starting working with what? Eclipse. Later you can go for other IDs also. Okay, right. Next one, the basic things you should be aware of it. Next one, application context. Bean Factory is what? Interface. Even application context also what? Interface only. That's why the Spring-based programming always what? It is lightweight component. Lightweight component means what? If you, in generally, before Spring or prior to Spring, if you want to get the any container, you should install some respective software. Yes or no? The respective software, example here, web container or servlet container, if you want to get it, the respective web server should be installed, right? But in Spring, no need to install anything to get the containers. Okay, that containers are available in the form of what? APIs. Application Programming Interface. What do you mean by API? It is the abbreviation. The combination of what? Classes, interfaces, subpackages, right? Inside the subpackage, the collection of classes and interfaces are there. Each and every class and an interface having the respective methods, the respective variables. Yes or no? They completely consider as what? API. Example for your understanding, let me give the one layman example. Naresh IT. Naresh IT is not only giving the course Java or Java full stack. It can be support multiple courses, right? In Java, there is core, advanced, Spring, Hibernate, something, right? Spring Boot microservices. Like that, the API only like that. The API collection of classes, interfaces, subpackages. And what you mean by subpackage? The same story. Collection of classes and interfaces, subpackages. Even all classes and interfaces having their own methods. Getting my point? That's what. Sorry. Next one, coming to the containers. In the core module, supporting what? Two types of containers. One is what? Bean factory container. The second one is what? Application context container. The Bean factory container is what? Outdated container. Bean factory is what? Outdated container. Okay. It is supporting only for what? XML based. XML based task always is what? Heavyweight component only. Getting my point? Clear? That's why one more container was introduced, that container name called what? Application context container. What are the duties of what containers? In the above, we discussed only three things, right? One is creating the object, managing the object, destroying the object. So internally, that container is following what? Life cycle methods. Life cycle methods. Okay, clear. I hope you are aware of it about the containers. No need to discuss once again. Okay. Next one. Clear so far? Any doubt about the core module? Guys, all of you. Clear? Okay. Online? Okay, fine. Coming to the application development here. See, before that, in the Spring Core module, providing what? Dependency lookup and dependency injection. What is the difference between dependency lookup and dependency injection? See, the dependency injection, dependency lookup is what? Searching and getting the required component, the required resource. Dependency lookup. For example, after you are conformed with Naresh IT, okay, after done the registration, what you are looking for? Some ID card? Yes or no? Some material? Something, okay. Some lab facility? Something, right? So, lab might be located in the top floor, maybe. Let's assume. The dependency lookup is a very complicated process because it should be such. Searching time is what? More. But it is not recommended in the application development. Whatever the required resource, you can get it. But it is taking the much time for this searching the required resource. Dependency lookup. Okay. That's why in the core module, you are concentrating on what? Only dependency injection. Okay. What do you mean by dependency injection? Guys, what do you mean by dependency? First of all, layman example. You are the dependents on what? Your parents. Trying to understand the concept. See, my way of teaching, first layman example coming to the technical. If I share that layman example, you are easily connecting to the subject. That's what. Okay, don't misunderstanding. Okay, see, you are the dependents to the your parent. Yes or no? Parents should give the money for hostel maintenance, for institute, for your personal things. Yes or no? That's why dependence. That means you are in the dependence. Injection means what? Your parents. Okay. Once you are making a call, you are immediately asking dad or mom, I need this much amount. I need to pay institute fee, or I need to pay hostel fee, something like that. Clear? Okay. Here the dependencies is what? Being class variables. Getting my point? Being class variables. Injecting means what? Assigning. Injecting, you have some values. That values you are assigning to the respective being class variables. Your parent, like what? Injection. You are the dependencies. Getting my point? Okay. I hope you got the clarity. There is a syringe here, injection, right? I'm suffering maybe some fever. Dolo, it won't work. Let's assume immediately need to take what? Injection. The next option is what? Doctor going to injection, right? They're injecting some medicine into our body. My body is waiting for what? Some medicine. Getting my point? That is, I will tell later, okay? For your understanding only, I explained in laymanly, okay? Don't worry. So the dependency injection means what? Assigning the values to the respective being properties. That is called what? Dependency injection. We will discuss in detail in the coming classes. For your understanding only, I am explaining like that. Clear? Okay? Right. So in the core module, if we want to develop the one application development, how many files are required? Application development, required files. How many files you required here? One is basically 4 files are there. 4 files required. One is bean class. Okay. Next one. See, Spring, what kind of based applications can you tell me? What kind of applications able to develop? POSO and POSI model programming. You already discussed, right? So, okay, let me give that point for your understanding. So, if anyone new person might be coming, you can understanding. Spring always supporting what? POSO or POSI model programming. What do you mean by POSO? Plain old Java object. POSI, plain old Java interface. Clear? Right. So here, there is a class, being class. There is like what? That POSO. That being class is what? POSO. Some interface is required. Interface is required. That is called as what? POSI. Next one, some configuration file is required here. Some configuration file. That is either XML based, Java based, or Annotation. These three approaches you can able to develop the Spring based applications, right? That in Spring core module. Next one, the fourth one is what? Client application. These are the files we required. Okay, right. Let me explain for your understanding. The bean class, as we discussed, private variables, generating the setters and getters. Clear? Interface, just creating what? Unimplemented methods or abstract methods. Clear? The third one is what? Configuration file, that too either XML based. If you are using the XML based configurations, the root tag should be after the DTD. DTD what? We missed it, C. DTDC courier is there, right? DTD, that is document type definition. See guys, while creating the web.xml file in your servlet applications, right? So there is a DTD is there on top of what web apps tag. Did you heard about it? XML version, right? What is this DTD explaining what? It is describing the version of or the details of XML. Getting my point? DTD. Without DTD in the web.xml file, that in the servlet based or JSP based web application, it will be happily work. Don't worry. But it won't be work within the Spring. Okay, right. We'll see in the practically, don't worry. So coming to the picture, so there is a bean class, next one interface, the next one is what? Configuration file, that to XML based, right? Even Java based also we are able to create as a configuration file. I will show the practically, don't worry, each and everything. Even annotation based also we will discuss. Okay. Finally, there is a client application. Inside this client application only, we should use that containers. Either bean factory container, either application context container. Clear? Okay? Right. I hope you are getting. That's all about it. Okay. So far, everyone is clear. Everything. Okay? Clear? Anyone, any doubt offline? Please let me know. I will give the clarity. Even that to core Java related, whatever we are discussing. See, in anywhere, any place, maybe it is related to either core Java or some other technologies. I will give us some knowledge about it. I don't want to go for in-depth. Okay, you should learn in advanced Java or in core Java only. Okay, I will give us some outlines only because this is not advanced Java class. Okay, this is not core Java class. Yes. The difference between bean factory and application context. The bean factory is supporting what here? XML based now, right? So in the application context, it will support what? Either XML based or Java based also. Yeah, I hope you got the clarity. Okay, while developing the application, might be you will get the end-to-end clear-cut idea. Don't worry. Okay, right. No problem. Yes, that's correct. Okay. Coming to the course content. Tomorrow onwards, we are going to start the application. Okay. So before that, most of the guys asking me and asking the front office team as well, sir, what is the course content? What you are going to discuss today? What you are going to discuss tomorrow? All these details. Okay, tomorrow what you are going to discuss? Applications. One is manual, another one is what? IDE based, integrated development environment, IDE. Okay, right. So let me share that course content here. Okay. If anything pending, we will discuss tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, the pending is what? Application development. So this is what Spring Basic, Spring Boot, and microservices. Okay. Beside there is a numbering also there, if you are observed. Right? Numbering also there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something, right? That is what? Number of days. That's it. On which day or which concept you are going to complete. Okay? Right. Coming to the introduction. Like a course introduction, what are the prerequisites of the Spring Boot, even microservices also? We already discussed or not? Okay. What is the difference between programming language, technology, and framework? Next, what is the Spring Boot modules and versions and all? Just I given the outlines. I didn't go for the in-depth because of the time yet to come. Okay, right. Next, what is the importance of the Spring Boot modules in the real-time projects? See, in the Spring, there is a vast code you are going to develop. Going for the Spring Boot, less code, more functionality. Most of the things are available in the form of annotations. Okay, right? We'll discuss, don't worry. Next one, what is the container? Container, you might be aware of it. Okay, so servlet container, JSP container, EJB container, IOC container, the two bean factory application context containers. That is called IOC stands for what here? Inversion of control. We are performing what? Dependency lookup and dependency injection. Mostly you are going to discuss about what? Dependency injection. So the dependency injection you can be able to perform in 3 ways. Okay, we will discuss, don't worry, setter injection, constructor injection, field based injection, or maybe interface based injection. Okay, we'll discuss later, don't worry. That yet to start. Tomorrow I'm going to give the clarity. Tomorrow I'm going to give the clarity about the setter injection. Okay, after that constructor injection, after that field or maybe interface based injection also. Now coming to the core module. Clear introduction part, online or offline? Anyone? Clear? Yeah. That video will share it, don't worry. Okay. Ajay, you are asking about AI, na? We'll discuss offline. Okay, don't worry. Previous videos and all, everything will be shared after you confirm. Okay, right. Syllabus here we are discussing about. Okay, right. For online people, whoever available in Hyderabad, okay, please come offline. Offline class is more interactive session than online. Even online also interactive session, but might be based on your concentration. I am suggesting coming to offline if you are in Hyderabad. Okay, right. Yes, yeah, that is what we are discussing, that syllabus. Pavan Kalyan. Okay. So core, that introduction part is what completed, right? All are. Okay. Maybe new joiners might be, will meet later. Coming to the core module, what you are discussing in the core module. Sorry. In the core module, introduction and importance of what core module have you discussed? Core module here. We are in the part of what core module only. Okay, right. Inversion of control principle. What is what? Lightweight, loosely coupled, right? Keep on coming mostly every day. Dependency management. That is what we are in the part of what? Dependency lookup and dependency injection in detail from tomorrow onwards as per the practically too. Clear? Okay. Next one. Two types of IOC containers we already discussed. That is what? Bean factory and application context. Next, Spring Beans configuration. That is Java based configuration. We should discuss about what? At the rate component, at the rate bean. We yet to start. Okay, now we are in this part. Okay, now the rest of the things don't ask me because we are yet to start it. Okay, okay. Let me share. Next one, the different ways of what developing the Spring. Okay, application maybe XML driven configuration, XML plus annotation driven configuration, 100% core driven configuration, or Java configuration. Mostly we'll get it tomorrow. Okay, right. Next one, design and development of what? Of the first Spring application. We'll discuss tomorrow. Okay, composition, that is what? Has a relationship. Do you know what is the difference between is a relationship and has a relationship? Okay, right. Next one. Coming to the, so there is a different annotations are there. Each and every annotation we will discuss in detail. We never ignore any point, anything. Please believe me. Okay, right. Next, different modes of what? Dependency injection. Setter injection, constructor injection, field injection, and arbitrary method injection. Get to start it. Next, solving the ambiguity problem. Ambiguity means what? Confusion. Okay. One istar and this istar. One plate is there with a delicious dish. More than one dog is fighting for that food. Okay, but no one eating properly because that dog will move that side, this dog moving this side. Okay, that plate should be splitted, food should be on the earth. Okay, everything spoiled, right? That is what ambiguity. I want to eat, I want to eat, I want to eat, I want to eat, like that. That is what ambiguity, fighting each other for one plate. Okay, so how we are going to solving this ambiguity problem? Famous interview question. Getting what is the difference between qualifier and primary? The famous interview question, not only for the freshers here, even you are in the 5+ experience people also. The interviewer should be asked what is the difference between at the rate qualifier and at the rate primary. How we are going to solve these problems? Which approach is the best one? Qualifier or primary annotation? Clear? Okay. So that is what. Next, by matching the dependent Spring Bean ID with what the target class with what has a relationship. Okay, that you have to start. The strategy design patterns. It is also one of the important question in the interview room. Okay, 3 principles of strategy. Okay, that is DP. DP is what? Not WhatsApp DP. DP stands for a design pattern. Okay, so strategy design pattern implementation in what? Spring Bean and its scopes is what? Singleton, prototype, Okay, these are all the bean scopes here. This is also one of the interview question. Okay, why I'm saying how can I give the conclusion? Okay, this is interview question, this is not interview question, because of I am the part of interview panel. Okay, in my current organization. That's why I'm telling. Okay, what is the singleton? What is the prototype, request, session, application, session, global session, and WebSocket and all what it is. And scope, lazy, and pre-instantiation of what a singleton, scope, and spring beans. Okay, everything. Next one, stereotype annotations. What do you mean by stereotype annotations? What it is significance? How many types of stereotype annotations are there? Getting my point? Okay, these are all what? Stereotype annotations. Next what? Working with the properties file. How we are going to working with the properties file? Have you heard about this Have you heard about this concept in core Java? Property files configuration. Core Java, yaar. Are you really learn about the core Java? Huh? There is a property class is there, yeah. One of the child class of what? Hash table. Right? Yes or no? Ayyo. Right? You created one property file, na, some Naresh IT dot properties. What are the properties file? Data is there, like the properties file storing the data in the form of what? Key value pairs. Yes or no? If you're trying to access the key, automatically the respective value also coming to the picture. Yes or no? Right? The properties files configuration. Okay, leave it. So working with the properties files. So how we are going to working with that properties files, which annotation is required to use? See, it is already there at the rate property source annotation. And if you want to access the respective key, that at the rate property source annotation purpose is what? To get in the properties file. Inside that properties file, there is a key with value combination is there, right? So whenever you are trying to access that key, at the rate value annotation is what mandate. Getting my point? In core Java, there is no value annotation. Yes or no? There is a file input stream. There is a file input stream and there is a file object stream is there. So due to that classes, you are accessing that file. Yes or no? But in the Spring or Spring Boot, there is a annotation called what? Value annotation to accessing the respective key into your Java application from the properties file. Getting my point? Okay, don't worry. We will discuss in detail in the coming classes. What is the Bean Factory container and application context container? Okay. And where to use this Bean Factory IOC and containers and all? What is the 18? I-18. What is I-18? Internationalization 18 nations. I-18, yeah. I stands for internationalization. 18. N stands for nations. Okay. Okay. Next one. Okay. That container. Bean life cycle. Bean life cycle. We are going to discuss. We already discussed that one. Internally, that container is following what? Bean life cycle. Life cycle. Life cycle. As multi-threading. As servlets, right? Init method, service method, destroy method, like that. Okay, right. Next one, implementing our what? Core module with Spring Boot. Okay, Spring Boot, what is that component? What is the Spring Boot application annotation? What is the enable auto configuration annotation? What is the purpose of what? component scan annotation. What is the Spring Boot configuration or configuration annotation? Okay. Next one, creating the Spring Boot application. Okay. Right. After that, introduction what? Spring Boot starters. Okay. Wait. Online. I hope you're also following. Okay. These are the starters. Okay. Spring application dot run method. What is the purpose of this one? How you are going to use? Where you are going to use? What is the significance of to calling like this? Everything we are going to discuss. Don't worry. Okay. Next one, Spring Boot application under that bootstrapping. Next one, auto configuration and strategy, design pattern implementation in the Spring Boot and with a mini project. Okay, with MVC based architecture. Next, bulk injections with Spring Expression Language, SPEL. Okay. Next, profiles. Profiles is what different environments are there in IT. Dev environment, QA environment, okay, UAT environment, pre-prod environment, prod environment, right? Each and every environment, different YAML files you are going to maintaining or application properties file you are going to maintain. So how you are going to work with the respective profile or the respective environment? Okay, we are going to discuss. Next one, Spring Boot data JPA module. JPA stands for Java Persistent API. If you want to communicate initial days, whenever you are going to communicate from Java to database software, we are using what? JDBC. After that, the next layer is what? Hibernate. That is ORM module or ORM technology. Okay. Next one, in Spring, that ORM module. In separately, there is a ORM technology. Okay, IBT, ORM like this. Okay, we are using ORM only, that representing Hibernate. So in the next level, we are going to use what? Data JPA, Java Persistent API. Okay. Next, some runners are there here. Runners. Okay, we are going to discuss about the runners also. Next one, Spring Boot Data JPA module. So this war mapping. Okay, Spring Boot Data JPA. So what it is, we are going to discuss. What is the meaning of entity, ID, column, table, right? Transient, we are going to discuss all of them. Okay, and a code repository. Okay, you are going to discuss all of them here. Don't worry. Next one, coming to Spring Boot data MongoDB module. Okay, right? All of them you are going to discuss. Next, what? Spring Boot mail module here. Mail. How we are going to sending the emails. Okay, what you are required. So we are going to discuss. Spring Boot MVC module. We are going to discuss. Don't worry. Next, all of these containers, controller annotation and request mapping. Okay. Next one, request param, get mapping, post mapping, put mapping, delete mapping. Okay. We are all going to discuss. Don't worry. Next what? Spring Boot REST module, REST API. Okay. How we are going to work with what? REST API. We are going to discuss. Nowadays, everything, instead of using the SOAP, not that SOAP. Okay, SOAP, it is XML based, those days gone. Okay, that's why we are using what? RESTful web services. Next one, Spring Boot Batch. Okay, all of them we are going to discuss. Okay, there is no time. That's what I'm showing some headlines. Scheduling. Okay, how we are going to scheduling those cron jobs. Okay, schedulers. Next what? security, Spring Boot security we are going to discuss. Okay, either JWT what, right? Like this. Next, here Spring Boot with what? JWT. Okay, messaging service. Okay, either Kafka, either ActiveMQ or RabbitMQ. Okay, so these are all. Next one, Spring Boot Apache Kafka separately. Next, Spring Cloud, that is microservices. Microservice is what? Theoretical concept. That programming level is what? Spring Cloud. Okay, right? All of them you are going to discuss. What is the difference between monolithic application and microservices based applications? We are going to discuss how we are going to configure them, how we are going to work with the microservices. So each and everything we are going to discuss in detail. Next one, that miscellaneous. These are all what? Video sessions here. Okay. Dev tools, activators, some integrations, Redis caching, Webflex, Spring Boot AI integration, and Spring Boot AI integration something. Some development tools are there. Maven tool. Okay. And Log4j, SLF4j, or JUnit, Magito, GitHub, debugging. Okay. Some Agile, Jira, all of them. Okay. Mostly we are going to discuss, okay, based on in the timelines. Okay. Everything in the practical and theoretical. Clear? Anyone? Any doubt? Online. Okay. The front office team will share here. Don't worry. Janu. Yeah, we will discuss. Don't worry. All of them. Okay. Yeah, course duration you already shared. That is 3 months. Okay. Right. This is KPHB, Kukatpalli Housing Board. Muhammad. What is your doubt, Ajay? Can you share it? Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. We'll see you tomorrow. We are going to discuss programming